Hello, and welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race recap show for Season 7, Episode 4, titled Spoof. There it is. Today is Tuesday, March 24th, 2015, and we are streaming live on Pride48.com just as we do every week at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. My name is Joe Betance from a little podcast called Catching Up, and I am joined by my two amazing co-hosts. From the podcast, Dubious Intent Plus, we have Daniel Brewer.
Yes, you do, Joe Betance. Yes, you do.
And from the podcast, Big Silly Homo and Cocktails and Cream Puffs, we have the beautiful, the vivacious, the wonderful Ms. Donna Suggarz.
Might I add voluptuous?
Voluptuous?
Gigante, I would also approve of. Yes. Hello, darling.
Voluptuous? Now, we didn't pull the clip of that because I ran out of time. I forgot to. But did you catch that piece where Miss Fame made up her own word, like quickering or something like that? What the fuck is a quickering? It's like she was just
I don't remember that part. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, she was telling Pearl how to sing. Oh no, you don't have rhythm. You need to have. It needs to be more quickering.
Oh, why did I miss that? I've watched the episode like 3 times.
And everything I learned about singing, I learned from Miss Fame.
Oh, my God. I know.
Oh, God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are streaming live on Pride 48. And if you'd like to join us in the chat room, all you have to do is go over to pride48.com, click on the chat up on the top of the thing there, and you can join us in the chat room along with our lovely audience that we have right now. Turniphead and Spiffy have joined us for the moment, but only if you're listening live, by the way. If you're listening on the podcast, you're out of luck. Until next Tuesday.
Now, here's the thing. I watched this episode, and as we all know, and if you're listening, obviously we don't need to say there's going to be major spoilers here. This is an episode we're going to have a lot to talk about, correct, Daniel?
Yes, I'm still hoping that I'm going to wake up and that this will not have happened, that this is some kind of bizarre dream, that's, some kind of scary little dream here. But I really wouldn't worry too much about spoilers. We are the RuPaul Drag Race recap show, because it's kind of right there in the title that we are recapping a show that you've already seen.
If you're listening, you know that Trixie Mattel went home, and I could hear Daniel screaming from New Haven.
This is what was going on in my mind. This was like the silent drama going on in my mind. By the way, I was watching it in the bar again with a lovely group of people, and I was not the only one that gasped. I was not the only one that had the gay gasp coming out there. But this is what was going on. The internal dialogue in my head was something like, "Oh fuck, it's a Blondie song. Oh my god, Deborah Harry is like the original Xanax queen, and it's." Fucking Pearl is basically channeling Debbie Harry, and he doesn't even know who she is. He's like doing a dead-on Debbie Harry stumbling impersonation, and he thinks she's a fucking Shakespeare character, and he's like there doing a dead-on. This is so unfair. This would be like having Candy Corn do the smoke detector part of Rock Lobster by the B-52s or some other inanimate object. This would be like having Kennedy do like Lou Rawls or something. This is just so unfair. It was just so tailored for Pearl. I was so sad.
How long did you work on this monologue?
I didn't. Otherwise, it would have been good.
We're jumping an hour ahead of ourselves.
There's a lot that will be said later. So let's just start where we need to start.
Start at the workroom where there's lipstick message from Ms. Jasmine Masters. Best of luck, ladies. Love, J Masters. Now, and go ahead.
Now we all miss Jasmine Masters.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I sent you a link. I don't know if you got this or not. I don't know if you worked this into us being able to talk about this. I just wanted to touch on this briefly. Apparently, people were sending death threats to Jasmine. And RuPaul had to go on Twitter and defend her. And
who would send death threats to Jasmine?
Oh, it's the It's the internet. Hello, it's the freaking internet. She was just overreacting on this whole thing, because some anonymous account on Twitter said something mean to her, and so she was like, so RuPaul had to tweet out. But I wanted to get to this. This is the most amazing 15-minute video that I've ever in my life seen, and
my god, is it the one on Facebook?
It's on YouTube. It's Jasmine giving her. It's called "Excuse Me" by Jasmine Masters. This was in response to these death threats. It's a 15-minute and 16-second YouTube clip on her channel. I highly recommend you watch it. But I have pulled out the pertinent 1 minute and 32 seconds that I would like to play for you guys now.
Yeah.
Can I play that for you now? This is the most crystal clear. When you hear this clip, you will be, you'll just, oh wow, I now totally understand exactly what she was saying. Here it is.
I am Jasmine Masters, and I have something to say. No time for sugarcoating. I'm getting right to the point. What I don't appreciate, the fact that everything that I may have said or say could get so twisted around by someone who could do whatever they want to do all of this to make shit seem worse than what it really was. When it wasn't that fucking bad in the get-go. It's just my mouth just say the wrong fucking... No, my mouth don't say the wrong fucking things. I just got a harsh-ass fucking mouth. Whether I'm telling you the truth, whether I'm cussing your ass out, you still going to get the same results. I'm going to say some loud cuss words. I'm going to say some shit that's out of line because anywhere I go, you need to know. Right. But my main point is I am not a fucking bully.
Oh, no.
Because I have been bullied. When I was in, the second grade, I think somebody tried to bully me. And every time he would ask me a question, if I tried to answer it, he punched me. If I didn't answer, he punched me. So basically, I was in a situation where I couldn't fucking win because if I said something, the boy hit me. If I didn't say something, he hit me. So I was just getting hit. Until the one day I got a goddamn toothache and he tried me and I whooped that ass up in that damn coat closet. But I was like in the second or third grade. And then I ain't have no more of that. That's just saying if somebody walk up and slap you in the face, that doesn't mean you have to slap them back. You could punch their ass. Are you wrong for punching them because they slapped you? No. How they came with you. But then that's what the hell they get because they shouldn't have slapped you. You get what I'm saying? You can't expect for others to do to you what you done to them. Meaning, cuss me out, bitch, I'm going to cuss you out.
What the fuck is she talking about?
I want a remix. I want a disco remix of this song with these...
Here's the thing.
The problem is... Yeah, they're saying that there's a problem with her voice. The problem is it's the peanut butter on the gums. It makes her voice say things that she wasn't expecting. And that wasn't a toothache, that was an abscess. There's a lot of racehorses that get that.
The thing is...
Because to not eat before the big race.
It makes me miss Jasmine Masters. She should have been here longer just so we could have more gems like that to come through. And also, by the way, often most bullies have been bullied themselves. It's not like if you've been bullied doesn't mean you can't be a bully.
No, I loved her example was I was bullied once in the second grade until I beat the guy up, and then it never happened again. But I can sympathize.
What I don't understand...
Here's go ahead.
Okay, sorry, go ahead. What I just don't understand is... What was it that she said that someone online took so much offense to that they threatened death upon her? Like, she didn't say some fucked up shit? Like, that, she didn't say anything more than anyone else has said any season.
Nobody threatened death on her. An anonymous Twitter account said, "Kill yourself, you ugly N-word." And it was like, it's just some anonymous...
let's go ahead and trace that IP, because you know it's going right back to Jasmine Masters.
What I'm saying, it doesn't, it's just some anonymous Twitter person. It's like, why do you care? It's the internet. Have you not met the internet?
It's Twitter. It's a dying art form.
Anyway, R.I.P.
Jasmine Masters.
R.I.P. Jasmine Masters. May you live on in
hardly.
Okay, now I'm sorry. Before you guys move on, I do have to bring up. Now, did you guys see the video? I don't know who this boy is. He's got a beautiful torso on Facebook. Who does his own little recap of the show, where he just pretty much takes the episode and splices clips of other shit in. So when our favorite person, Ginge, goes for her intro, it cuts to Danny DeVito in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Every time Jasmine said something, you just heard a horse. Like, it was fucking hysterical. I have a link on my page. It's so funny.
I will put the link.
I saw it on your page. Yeah,
I will put the link on our website for this episode. So if you go to our website, pride48.com/RDRR, we'll have the link up there for this episode. So.
Okay, so we see a brief little clip of Pearl, and already we're seeing so much of Pearl early on that I'm already thinking when I'm watching it, like, oh shit, this bitch is in the bottom too. But she's a little bitter about being read on the main stage in the previous episode for having to pick up the energy. And then that's it in the workroom, and then we go back to the next day. So now they go home, and the next day they're back in the workroom, and immediately Ru walks in to explain the mainstay challenge. Go ahead, Daniel. Clip number 1.
You know, in showbiz, one day you're in on the joke, and the next day the joke's on you. So, for this week's Maxi Challenge, you'll be creating music video parodies. One of my favorite artists ever! Me.
There you go.
Yes, and so this week the girls had to break up in 3 teams and make music video parodies of 3 RuPaul songs. Now, they got to self-select into teams. What did you guys think when they self-selected into teams? Donna, what were you thinking when they did that? Or Daniel?
My initial thought, and I actually wrote it down, I said whichever team Kennedy is on is going to have a problem. Because I just had this impression that Kennedy was going to fall flat on this challenge.
Yeah. Because she'd been sort of in the background and not doing too well. Well, they self-selected the teams. I identified them by sort of like the key person on each team. So we have Team 1, which is Trixie.
Yes.
And they're going to do the song Dance With You, and that includes Trixie, Pearl, Miss Fame, and Katya. Team 3 is Team Ginger, and that is Ginger, Mrs. Kasha Davis, Candy Ho, and Kennedy. And then Team Max is sort of the leftovers. It was Max, Jaden, and Jaden Dior Fierce, and Violet Chachki.
And that kind of surprised me a little bit in the selection process, because we learned in Untucked last week that Max and Trixie actually went to school together, and they're actually both from Wisconsin. They're both they work together often, and it was like I would have thought that they would have paired up, but they didn't. They didn't. Trixie made no moves towards going towards Max, nor did Max make any moves towards going towards her. So it was just kind of weird that Max. Not Max. I think Trixie is kind of like infatuated with Pearl or something, because he's like immediately gloms on the Pearl and is like, all right, who can I use to cover this
weren't
up?
Trixie and Miss Fame all over each other on one of the days?
They were. Yeah, I think Trixie is just a cuddler.
Basically, they're all three having threesomes on the off days.
No, I would like to see that video, actually. But the
Me
thing,
too, girl. Me too.
I think it just surprised me that Trixie and Max didn't get on that one together. But I mean, I thought that the most annoying thing to me was Ginger, of course. It was like, well, because I'm a singer, and everyone just immediately gloms onto me. And I was just like,
you're a singer like Harvey Firestein is a singer.
In what universe are you a singer?
Well, the other thing is, to say this about Max. Max, I think, is kind of gunning for Miss Congeniality, and I wouldn't be surprised if there were teams that would have had Max, but she saw that Jaden and Violet had nowhere to go, and she sort of took them and was in a team with them. She sort of seemed like someone that had that spirit.
Yeah, I would be scared probably of picking Max for my team, because I've seen some of her performances on YouTube, and she kind of does this death metal drag thing.
Oh, she does?
Where she like sings like these really, I am the, it's like just it's very
that is shocking to me.
It's very avant-garde there. But
now, considering that this is a comedy challenge, this is a spoof kind of challenge, this is something that requires creativity and imagination, I am shocked Trixie took the two most boring fucking drag queens for her team. I realize they're pretty. I realize there might be a I want to fuck you aspect. But those two were the last two people I would want on my team.
I agree with you.
I don't understand what you mean, Donna, because Miss Fame clearly has the best voice out of the entire group.
But
yeah,
Trixie,
she's so good she's giving lessons.
But Trixie kind of... Did she say that?
No, but she's trying to do that whole choreography.
Oh, yeah, in the room. Yeah. So let's keep going here. So they immediately break up into their groups. Team Max is doing Sissy That Walk. And as they're discussing the options, Max makes it clear that he does not want to do anything dirty, which for some reason offends Violet Chachki. I kind of feel with Team Max, and I'll bring this up over and over again, especially since their video was so strong, I kind of think that they kind of knew what they were doing the whole time, and they just sort of built this fake drama into the show, because the drama was really with Team Trixie.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I thought of the three videos, none of them were great, but of the three videos, I did like theirs the best. Yes.
Yeah, they did a really good job with the impressions. Next, we go on to Team Trixie, and they're doing a RuPaul song I don't know called "Dance with You," and so that's.
It could have been one of those tracks that were when you bootleg the CD that was just her in the background going, "Girl, you stole my track. Girl, you stole my track."
When I hear it, I think of that 70s song. I wanna like that. No, it was "Rock with You." That's what I was thinking. The Jackson 5. Like I wanna rock with you.
I think that's what kind of singing in my head too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now Trixie immediately wants to do "I Want to Tan with You."
Yes.
Right. Miss Fame wants to do something about giving hand jobs, or I don't. It was really gross. And Pearl points out how gross it is, and they get in this weird kind of like a fighting, like a little shade match, right?
It was, yet they were both.
Could it be that night before at the hotel that maybe Fame wanted to do something in the bed that Pearl just wasn't okay with?
I don't.
The safe word was just too long.
Yeah, well, maybe Pearl woke up and she was like, "Wait, I'm in a challenge." So Pearl is bummed about Tan with You, and there's this tension because she doesn't like any of the ideas. Meanwhile, she's not offering any of her own ideas. And then we jump into Rue comes into the room. She's visiting the groups, and Pearl immediately gets shady and points out that Trixie thought of the concept. Right? Pearl obviously didn't like the concept, and she was sort of dropping that in. Why don't you play clip number 2?
Somehow I feel like Trixie is the leader of this group just because I know you do a lot of comedy.
Turns out making fun of you is a lot easier than I thought.
She definitely thought of the concept.
What is the concept?
Tan with You.
4 ladies who just love the
overgrown
sun.
orangutans.
I love that. That sounds fun.
See,
And Pearl was so bummed.
I don't think so. I think that was just clever editing, because if you look at how tight Trixie and Pearl were, especially at the end there where there's I love you thing, I think Pearl was actually trying to give Trixie some credit there. I think that's actually just Pearl has no fucking inflection in her voice. I think that was a genuine thing, and just with the music behind it and the and the kind of makes it seem shady. And I don't think it was.
And then cutting to like the other girls like looking her down, like that's just it's
what just happened to your microphone, girl?
My microphone? I don't know.
Suddenly you're talking across the room.
Oh God, I don't know.
Oh, no.
Are you using a headset or are you using your microphone?
No, I'm using my microphone.
Okay, we're not hearing you on your microphone. Can you just tap on your microphone?
Oh yeah.
Yes, we're not hearing. No, we're not hearing that. So you're not pulling that. Go into Hangouts there and change your settings to the microphone there.
So anyway, while she does that, it could be something where I'm projecting a little bit of something, because a really good friend of mine who we work on a project together, that bitch does that shit all the time whenever we meet with our, I guess, essentially our boss.
Yeah.
She'll be like, well, Joe thought of that. And then if he says he liked it, she's like bummed, or... she's trying to get me in trouble all the time, like telling me to daddy. So maybe I'm sort of projecting that onto Pearl.
Right.
I heard a little bit of a click. I feel like Donna's mic is back in there.
Either that or just completely cut out. Donna?
Just completely cut out.
Is that better?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So much
yeah,
better.
I don't know what
much
happened.
better.
It's so much better.
I don't know.
It was like you were on your camera microphone or something. It's horrible.
Ew.
So after that, we go to commercial, and then when we come back from commercial, we're in the studio with Lucian Piani and Miss Fame. They cut away to a confessional where she explains the challenge. It's clip number 3, Daniel.
For today's Maxi Challenge, we have to do a parody music video. Our team is working with the talented Lucian Piani, RuPaul's producer.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. This might be kind of controversial. I've never liked Lucian Piani.
I want him to sit on my face.
Oh, I think he's really cute. I think he's really cute, but I feel he comes off so obnoxiously on every time he's on the show. I'm not a fan of his attitude.
I'm curious, does he talk to Ru like he talks to Ru's queens? Because he don't talk to her like that.
Exactly.
He's like, of course, Ru, anything you want.
Yeah, all right, but that's not exactly... That's apples and oranges there, right? Here's these people that he's not getting, they're not stars, that he's responsible for their thing, whereas in the other case, he's an employee of Ru's, right? He is there to do what she wants.
You don't think he's getting paid for this challenge? You don't think?
No, but what I'm saying is that whether they do well or not reflects on him. It's not a matter of whether they like what he does. It's a matter of whether Ru likes what he does, so he can basically boss them around, because he wants it to be what Ru likes, right? There's a lot of auto-tuning in those songs. I don't know if you picked up on that, but it's like...
Oh, yeah.
There is. Well, Ru calls it out on the show, but the other thing with Lucian, though, is I feel like he sort of plays it up on the show. Like, he knows you could be the best singer for the most part, and he's gonna throw a shade at you because he's playing it up for the show.
He did it last year with Courtney when they did the singing challenge.
Oh yeah, exactly. You're right.
From the chat, Turnpad in the chat room says that "I Want to Dance with You" plays at the end of the shows. Is that that's the song that they're playing now when they're dancing around? I guess is "I Want to Dance with You." Huh.
I'm already changing the channel by that point.
I want to dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me.
Right. Oh, on the previous season. I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead. So go ahead, Joe Betance.
Well, you know what? On previous seasons, I'll say this. I used to watch it at the same time when they would sort of blend into Untucked, and they would cut the song off if you watch them together.
Yeah.
So if you would just go let the music play, and it would immediately go to Untucked. Okay, so now in the studio, we go with Team Trixie. They're first up, and Katya is doing some sort of weird voice. Like she's supposed to be some sort of crack hoe, but again, I think it played well for real, but they edited it to make it seem like she was being this crazy person.
Well, that first take was a little rough.
Yeah, and I think, but there's so much. I mean, who knows with reactions and the camera cuts. I mean, there's a lot of there was no steady shots there, so it's difficult to tell what happened in what sequence. But I will say this: I discovered Katya's YouTube channel the other day. And if you haven't found this YouTube channel, oh my God, she's like my new favorite. She's amazing. And it's like, I really have a whole new level of respect for Katya. So I think it probably was just that one-off kind of a take there of like getting used to the equipment or something.
The funniest damn line. Oh my God. Lucian Piani saying, okay, this is not 10 Long Island iced teas. We need 3 Long Island iced teas. And that was the perfect explanation, and it just worked. But what I will say is, what? Can we just say something from now on?
Sure.
Let's not say how this was edited. Let's just assume if we're watching the show, this is exactly what happened.
I agree with you. I like that. We have to buy into the narrative.
Yeah, because when we play this, well, maybe it was just edited wrong. We could sit there and do that all day long.
We could.
I agree with you. We have to evaluate what we're presented with.
Fine, I will suspend my belief of reality and go with the narrative.
All right, Here we go. Now, we've been wanting to talk about this, but then we cut to Miss Fame, and she's bragged the whole show what a good singer she is, and that bitch is just not hitting the right notes.
She was a little flat on her high note, and it's so if you do audio,
here we go.
If you do audio,
Phil Spector's coming in now.
No, but like think about like American Idol or whatever. Sometimes when you hear them sing, when you're hearing a raw voice and it's not mixed well with the backs, it does sound kind of raw and out there and kind of horrible. That there's some musical piece there that's going to to harmonize with that to make it softer or better. So you're kind of just hearing just her voice. You're not hearing what she's hearing in her headphones. You don't know what she's singing with. You don't know what she's harmonizing against. So it's kind of misleading there. But I agree. I mean, it was one of those.
Daniel, what do you mean misleading? What we saw was reality.
No, I'm saying I'm buying into the narrative here, Joe. Yeah. I'm just saying we're not hearing what she's hearing in her headphones. So we don't know what she's harmonizing against.
And let's all just assume that Miss Fame is just raw.
Let's just all assume that Miss Fame is a wonderful singer and everything she says is true.
And she likes it raw.
I want her to like it raw. As we move on, we see that Trixie struggles, Pearl's boring, same old thing. But then they go to a confessional, and Trixie reads Pearl. Again, remember, they're friends, Daniel, but Trixie reads Pearl. Go ahead and play clip number 4.
Pearl and I are sisters. Pearl and I used to work together in Chicago before she moved to New York. She's just extremely chill. The way she talks, moves, everything. But for drag, she really does need to get herself a fresh pair of batteries, or they're going to keep saying she doesn't care.
I don't know that that's really reading her. I think she's just saying that's, that she's worked with Pearl. She knows that she's better, and she does need to just
It is a read, but at the same time, it's not necessarily negative. It's a read, but she didn't really say anything disparaging. She said this is just kind of how she is, but the judges want more.
Yeah. No, you're right. She's not reading her to filth. She's just telling it like it is. So that's what happens. Next, we move on to Team Max. Again, I think there's kind of false drama. They do show the clip of Violet snapping back at Lucien because he says that she was in the wrong octave, I believe is what he says.
Right.
And she's like, and then that she was a little fast or something. She goes, well, I was just following your lead.
Right.
But I don't think it didn't seem that dramatic.
It seemed more like she was just nervous. I mean, that's... we're going along this is the 4th day that they're there. They're still kind of, new to all this stuff. And here you've got, cameras on you, microphones in you. You're supposed to, it's intimidating enough to sing in front of people naturally. But then when there's cameras on you and like professionals in the room, it's very intimidating. I could see there would be a lot of
It came off as just like young defensive-ness. It didn't really come off as being a bitch.
Yeah. And I think this was covered later in Untucked, where I think Miss Kasha Davis pointed out to Violet, it's like, it's just your age. Girl, I was like that when I was your age.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And then finally we end up with Team Ginger. Everything seems fine. Mrs. Kasha Davis is singing in a funny voice. But again, I think, she's singing in a weird voice.
But if she doesn't know how to sing and she's thinking that she's going to play up the comedy of it, I don't hate that.
Yeah.
I mean, what's funny is that he told Kennedy... Was it Kennedy to do it in the group before?
He did.
He said play up the comedy of it.
Right.
And because Bianca's not a singer either.
Right. And she was impersonating Bianca, right?
Yeah. So it's like, why is it okay for one but not for another?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. So I think, and they address this a little bit in Untucked. And in fact, in Untucked, it seemed like they were okay with Mrs. Kasha Davis. They sort of expected her to sing weird.
Yeah.
And it wasn't any big deal. So now we go back into... Go ahead.
I just want to say, I don't think they really judge them on any of their singing. I think, when they judge these videos, they really judge it more on the content and the flow of the video. Rather, I don't think I've ever heard in any of these singing competitions before, challenges on Drag Race in 7 seasons, I've never heard someone go, oh, yeah, but her voice was just god-awful. You know what I'm saying? It's just... They just kind of go with that. It's just kind of like, okay, well, you try. There's auto-tune there to try to correct it, and,
Yeah. I've actually never seen an edit. I've never seen an edit done where the voice was super, super terrible.
Right.
I mean, with auto-tuning, almost anyone can be a singer.
Even RuPaul.
Yeah. Even RuPaul.
Ooh, girl. The cease and desist will be coming in.
Yeah.
You just got the eye on you. This is like Lord of the Rings. The eye with the big old lashes is going to turn to you.
Saru, we're going to call
Saru, the eye of Saru.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, girl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Back in the workroom, Team Trixie rehearses their steps, and Miss Fame and Pearl get snappy with each other. Why don't you play clip 5, Daniel?
Must I?
Okay, so get into your last position.
This is sunblock down, girl. This is where you ended. No, we're coming back up from that. We're coming up from down,
I know. We have to figure out what the next move is going to be.
Go ahead.
So
What do you
just
want
get
it to
into
be,
the last
girl?
bit. Well, if you would get to the
says
fucking
this.
position, we
What
could
do
jump into it.
Calm your ass down.
I
girl.
am
We have
calm.
to
You're
get
not
on with
listening
this.
to me, though.
Then what are you trying to say? Go ahead, project.
I'm trying.
What in the fucking hell is going on here?
I think we have too many Chiefs and not enough Indians.
It's gonna be a disaster.
That was racist. If I were Indian, I'd be offended.
By the way, that's the most emotion I've ever seen Pearl emote.
It was. It was like her medication was wearing off and she didn't have another fix or something. It was, she was getting the DTs.
I was like, oh, look, she can throw down.
Yeah.
By the way, Miss Pearl is going to be playing at a club nearby. I kind of want to go see her on the 5th of April.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
you just
want to go and roofie her as she's leaving the club.
Maybe I'll see if we can get an interview for our little podcast.
There you go.
It'll be the most boring interview.
I really liked doing it. And
how was the show? It was fine.
It was okay.
It was fine. It was okay. It was cool.
If we
Where am I?
I'm telling you, if she does Paris Hilton for when we get to the celebrity impersonation
Snatch Game,
she might have it. Yeah, I think she's got her celebrity.
So she does. You're hoping that Pearl does Paris Hilton for Snatch Game.
I mean, because is. I mean, that's Paris Hilton right there. Like, just kind of, I'm on drugs. Yeah, just kind of really chill.
You think she's gonna make it to Snatch Game? I think her ass is gone next week.
Snatch. You know what? Snatch Game is usually when there's 10.
No, there's already 10. It's probably gonna happen when there's. Well, I guess as of this week, there are now 10.
It's usually between 9. It's 8 or 9 people for Snatch Game. So we are coming close to Snatch Game.
We're getting close to Snatch. You're right. Okay,
Tasha
so now
will be gone before Pearl. Just throwing that out.
Oh, really?
I'm throwing that out there. I think
because
Pearl's pretty and people fucking love her.
One of the things I pointed out to my cousin yesterday, we were watching it together, is all three of us had Trixie Mattel in our top 3.
Yeah.
We might have to reevaluate.
I've never seen a reaction like that, but we can get to it later because it was trending on Twitter. Like yeah.
And well, I have thoughts on that too. The music video shoot. We go to the music video shoot, and Team Max comes in to do their "Sissy That Walk" video, and Max gets red for her Courtney Act impression. I guess this will come up later, but I want to talk about it a little bit now. I mean, how do you really read someone for a Courtney Act impression? There's not much to that bitch.
I think it was added in just to create the drama there. I mean, it was one of those. I think I can't talk about the editing, but I think knowing who eventually wins the challenge and they weren't in that video, I think they had to create some kind of drama for that video because it was so clearly better than the other. Which is like, why didn't Jaden win that challenge? She did a dead-on Bianca Del Rio. I mean, here's this girl who's the exact opposite of Bianca Del Rio, who did a dead-on, Bianca impersonation. I thought it was great.
Can we tell you, probably one of the best Adore impersonations.
Yes.
And Violet got red for it. Michelle said you could have done more with it, and you're like, what? What could she have done?
What else does Adore have? They hit on everything in that video. Adore doesn't have much else.
Yeah, I think it was just they had to make it seem like there were problems with that because the winner was in a horrible video. Anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, Team Ginger, they come in, and Rue gets upset about the drag you line. Why don't you go ahead and play clip number 6?
Now, what was that drag you lyric again?
What you say about drag you?
That was a rough spot. All right. Well, yeah, it was one of my favorite jobs. Did change people's lives,
Yeah, I guess I didn't give the right timestamp, but the thing is here is that they sang a line where they said that drag you. They said something about drag you. I don't remember
drag you. That really was a rough spot. Yes.
They talk about her rise to fame and how she can really do no wrong, and then drag you happens, and that was a rough spot.
Right.
That is so true, though. Drag you.
And what's funny is Rue did really love that show, and it was important, and I'm sure that was rough for her. Frankly, that entire thing I think was played up for comedy. I don't think Rue batted an eyelash. She laughed about it when no one was looking.
Yeah.
Well, they had already recorded the song, so a producer said, Rue, they here, we could do this here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we go on to Team Trixie, and Trixie keeps walking out of the shot, which is something they didn't mention again, but remember, she was filming it, and then the thing, it was almost really weird, actually. Every time her line would come on her.
Right. I think
she just walk out.
Yeah, I think she was probably, she had the first line of the song. I think it was probably she just didn't understand that you're just supposed to stand there for the whole song and sing all of your parts. Anytime you sing, you're supposed to sing, and otherwise you're just dancing, and they're going to play the song 4 different times, one person up there each time, and then they'll do the group shots. And it's like, I think, it's probably just a misunderstanding of directions. But
Now, and I know, okay, and I'm the one that said no editing and comments about editing,
Yes,
but okay, I just gotta say, do you think that she was the first person from that group to go up there, and she just didn't fully get the instructions?
Yeah, because she had the first lines of that song. She was on the phone on the very first line of that song. You know, that was her on the phone, and she even said, "I thought I was just supposed to do my phone stuff, and then we were going to change up." So it's like, I think it was just a misunderstanding.
And I'm sure they want that kind of stuff to happen, so they're intentionally kind of vague with them. So like, just go in front of the camera. You know, because usually that stuff, they give you very specific instructions. This is exactly what they want you to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so after that, we go to commercial, and now it is Elimination Day, and we're back in the workroom, and this is, again, we have to have, because Untucked doesn't really do this stuff anymore, the patented emotional Hallmark moment. And this time, it's Kennedy Davenport opening up about her sister, Sahara Davenport, which, if you don't follow drag queens, she was a former contestant who passed away. I think she had some sort of heart condition.
And her partner was Miss Manila Luzon.
Yeah. And one thing, this is a visual thing, but I'll point it out anyway in case you watch it again. But when they would do these behind the headshots, and Ginger had the worst back acne I've ever seen in my entire life. And you ever watch this episode again?
We have an email about that, which we'll get to later. But yes, I will.
Sometimes trolls just get some back
I want everyone
acne.
to sit down now. I'm actually going to defend Ginger. But you want me to play the clip now for Miss...
Well, what happens is it's super emotional, and then I think it gets a little...
Do we need to play that clip? Because frankly, this is the most manufactured. I think this is the only reason this bitch was even asked to be on the show.
Well, there's a reason I bring it up. So play it. Something weird happens at the end of this clip. Go ahead, Daniel.
We just knew she was in the hospital, and then she passed. Ugh, that was most heartbreaking for me because I'm way in Dallas. I have no money to go to the funeral or anything. So
Isn't that the worst fucking feeling in the world?
that was like the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my sister for real. I mean, like, if we come out the same pussy, we would have.
Okay, well, you obviously heard Daniel and myself talking as we were pulling that clip.
Yeah.
Come out the same
pussy.
Yeah, how are you talking about your quote-unquote sister and being like, we came out the same pussy? Like, having a serious conversation.
She's a ghetto bitch.
Pop,
what the fuck do you want?
Pop the pussy, feed the children.
Oh.
Daniel, did you want to talk about this email now? Or you're going to wait till later?
We have a couple of emails. Let's get to them.
Okay.
Let's get to them at the end of the show. So
now we go.
Can we talk? Okay, are we talking about the theme? Are we talking about the theme for the runway? Which
Let's
I
get
went
into
crazy.
It.
Why
We're
did
going to
you
get
go
to
crazy?
2 seconds. I want to get 2 seconds. I want to get Donna's thoughts, one, on Rue's outfit, and I also want to talk briefly about the judges. Donna, do you have any thoughts on Rue's outfit in particular?
Well, first of all, you should say the name, what they had to do for the runway, and that will lead
It was a
into
green
reward.
theme.
Green eleganza was the theme.
Mm-hmm.
RuPaul's ass walks out not wearing green in her rainbow caftan dress.
And Michelle
looks like they're going to be selling it at Kmart next month.
And Michelle was actually wearing green. I don't know if you guys realize that. It was a very pale green that she was wearing there, which is why the comment was made about.
You know what I bet is that they were sort of anticipating that this would probably be like St. Patrick's week.
Oh no, there was talk. I mean, yeah, the show was delayed by a week, and that's clearly this was supposed to have aired last week, right? Because it would have been the day before St. Patrick's Day, so it would have made a lot of sense.
But Michelle hates green. Why the hell do you need a green challenge?
Because they were going to be on the day before St. Patrick's Day, and so it made sense.
Or do they just hate green on a fat bitch? I mean, because that's where Michelle really read the green.
Excellent.
So, Donna, we're going to run through the runway. Now, Daniel, how do you want to do this now? Because we are changing this up a little bit because we kind of want to – we don't want to spend too much time on the runway. Is that correct, Daniel?
Right, yeah, because we're not a video podcast, so we can't really bring back up the dresses for you to look at, and there's 10 of them right now, so it's kind of hard – well, actually, there's 11 of them right now, so it's kind of hard to remember what everyone's wearing. If one of them really jumps out at you, like, the pasties on her nipples.
Did you do your one-word reviews, Donna? Or
I did.
Go ahead.
I give this super
so why don't we do that? So, Daniel, are you able to play the bed or no?
Yeah.
Right.
The Sissy That Walk bed?
Here we go. We're going to get
I
into
gotta find
it.
it first. Where did you put it?
Oh, wait, it's just – but hold on for a second.
I got it.
Okay.
I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, go ahead.
Okay,
All right.
Pearl. Pearl is a fugly snake We got Fame looking stunning, but Michelle reads her for her wide shoulders. Katya with that fucked up wig that's flat in the back. You think 360. Max, stunning, but naked. Jaden, Rue read her for her fatness. Violet, no tits again, and nobody reads her for it. Candy got 6 head. Kasha stole my fucking look, because that's the outfit I would have done. Kennedy, Miss America reject, and Ginge, bitch only got 1 wig. And there you go.
Now I will. There was one that you said that. Oh, I can't remember. You know what? What did you say about Pearl?
Pearl?
Yeah, I was trying to.
I hated the snake.
Because they talked about this on Untucked too. It's like she had no padding on. She didn't have any, like, no fake tits. She had no fake hips. She was just like, it was just like there was no padding. You could see her boy nipples under that thing.
Can we talk about the most epic read? I don't think I've ever heard Rue read someone like she read Jaden Dior.
About what?
That's so you didn't. Do you hear? Rue was like, that's why I couldn't find any camouflage when I went looking for it. Reading that fat bitch for that outfit. That was a fat read. It was subtle, but that
didn't
was
pick that up.
A jaw dropped. It was hysterical.
I thought. See, because when she goes, oh, there it is, when she takes off her glasses on that, because I watched it a couple of times, and it's like, I thought it was just a comment about, I can't see her because she's in camouflage, right? And then she takes off her glasses and goes, oh, there it is. But you're probably right. It probably was a fat read.
Oh, I didn't even pick that up when I heard that. I remember that line, though.
Yeah. But Violet with the painted on tits again, come on, you just got red for this. Why'd you do it again? And come on, you don't have a tit bib? You could have done a tit bib. I mean, everyone else has got tit bibs. It's
Jessica Alba spoke about Violet's ass not once, not twice, but thrice. I was just enamored by Violet's perfect ass.
Violet does have a perfect ass.
It is a very perfect lady ass.
Yeah, no, perfect lady ass. A horrible boy ass.
Yeah.
But a perfect lady ass. So we go to commercial, and when we come back, they debut the videos. I don't think we really need to spend too much time on them. Let's just kind of talk about them a little bit. Team Trixie, I want to tan with you. 4 overly tanned women frolicking around Miami. Did you guys have any specific thoughts on this?
I think it was hilarious with the backgrounds, with them on the sun and the fire and the roasted rotisserie chickens. I think that it was edited beautifully. I thought it was a good video.
As a Floridian, I am all too familiar with the peeling skin of being sunburned, and I thought that was hilarious when Katya pulled the skin off and then ate it. It was just...
Now, was Trixie, Trixie did say she was a comedy queen. I didn't think she was particularly funny.
No, she wasn't. But then there was no real chance to be funny in that, right? You're kind of hemmed in by the music, right?
But here's the thing. If this bitch is constantly talking about how funny she is, and then in Untucked, she's going through her, like, the things we would have seen had she done it, and like they were like funny glasses. Yeah. I think she's one of these bitches that thinks she's funnier than she is.
I don't know how funny she says she was. I know that Rue actually made the line. It's like in her audition, it was the funniest audition tape that she had ever seen. So, I mean, I know Rue was saying that she was very funny.
Yeah, but you know what? I listened to the RuPaul podcast. That bitch cracks up at the stupidest shit.
Yeah, she does. Right.
What I have to say is that I never really thought it before, but watching this episode, she's kind of hot as a boy. She was really growing on me. There was something kind of sexy about...
Who?
Now I just went stupid.
Trixie?
About Trixie.
Oh, God, yes. She's hella sexy as a boy.
I didn't see it before, but now I'm just kind of like, that's kind of hot.
Actually, in her apology video, well, not in her apology video, but her video that she just posted today on her YouTube channel, which says, I'm all right, she looks god-awful in drag.
Oh, does she?
Because of the lighting. It's like, girl, 3-point lighting, girl. But then it ends with her in the shower and as a boy in the shower naked. And
I'm sorry, I can't keep recording this. I need to hold on.
Wait, hold on. What are all these videos I'm watching now? Wait,
hold on. Wait a minute now.
You need to go to Katya's channel.
Oh, Katya or Trixie?
Well, no, both. You need to go to Katya's channel and watch the Regrets video series that she does, and then go to Trixie's channel to see her in the shower as a boy.
Which is so funny because I'm not that super into Trixie, but I still want to see what's going on.
There you go.
I don't know. Okay, so Team Ginger, they do their parody of Let the Music Play. Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped over Team Max. Sissy That Walk. Can we just agree that was the funniest video?
It was. And it was made that way just because the dead-on parodies that they did
Yeah, and we covered that already in depth. I mean, and Max's Courtney was fine. I mean,
yeah, it was.
There's just not much to Courtney. I don't know why. I think they were trying to find something to read about her.
It was hard. It was hard for me to fathom how Kennedy won this challenge. It's like it should have been Jaden or even Violet, because they just it was the superior video. It was the better.
I didn't see anything that was so great about Kennedy.
Yeah.
I could see if it was a team effort,
Well, because she had a gum wrapper on her fucking teeth. I don't get it.
It was. I don't know. This whole thing with Kennedy winning and Trixie going and it was just like, what was Rue off her meds or something? I don't know. Anyway, move on.
Yeah. And then Team Ginger, they do let the music play. We were just talking about it. I mean, it was all right. I didn't see what was so great about it.
It's a story of a girl named Rue.
You know what? The words were funnier than the other song. The lyrics of that song were the funniest of the three. I'll say that.
And is there a specific reason why that video was so much longer than the other two? Did anyone else notice that?
I didn't really notice that.
I don't know. Maybe if it was just it felt so much longer than the other two
because it was Ginger and it just feels long when you see her.
Yeah, maybe that's.
Let me check. The times are on their YouTube channel, but carry on. I'll check this out.
Yeah, so we go to commercial. When we come back, it's time for the evals. And right before we get into it, Katya, Jaden Dior Fierce, and Kennedy Davenport are brought forward on the stage as being the strongest members of their individual teams. But Rue announces that Kennedy Davenport is the winner for that challenge, and she wins some sort of prize package from Jessica Alba's company. Which
it smells good.
Yeah, it was like the prizes are so lame this year.
Yeah, really. Scraping the bottom of the barrel, aren't we?
Just don't take off their just-in-case underwear product placement.
Yeah, and then Rue also throws in Miss Fame and Ginger Minge as safe, and they are allowed to go backstage to the Untucked Lounge to have a cocktail.
Correct.
Meanwhile, we go back to the judges' critiques, which are really simple. We'll run through them really quick. The first one, the one that gets the most attention, is Pearl, and she gets called out for being boring. Why don't you go ahead and play clip number 8, Daniel?
It helps if I have the volume up, doesn't it? Sorry.
Are you a stoner girl? Because that's like the vibe I get.
I don't know. I feel like there's plenty of girls here that are sort of taking their time coming out of their shell, but I feel picked on almost.
Okay, look. Pearl is boring, right? But she does have a point. It's like Candy Ho has as much personality as Pearl.
The thing that got me about Candy Ho was she did that video. And so she did a voiceover, kind of a confessional voiceover, like the narrative of the show is all done by the girls. When Candy Ho showed up to do her narrative there, her diary entry, I was like, wait, who's that? It was like, I had no idea who she was. It was just like, wait, we're now 45 minutes into this episode, and I have not seen her once this entire episode. Now she shows up and talks about something. And I'm just like, who are you? Where'd you come from? Did you come from another show or something?
I completely agree. And I feel Kennedy Davenport took a while too. She's finally starting to come out. Like on Untucked, I felt she was really sort of a star on Untucked. But she's finally starting to come out of her shell. So I think Pearl kind of has a point, and I'm not just saying that because I want to have sex with him in the worst way possible. Trixie gets called out for not standing out, which I kind of see that, but whatever. Max gets read for her Courtney act, which, as we've discussed, wasn't that bad. I think they were just trying to find something to read. Violet, they said, could have done more with Adore. Once again, it was spot on Adore Delano.
Yeah.
The only thing that could have made that more Adore is putting on a little sombrero.
Candy Ho, they said, gets lost, which I agree with. And then Mrs. Kasha Davis, they just loved her voice. She didn't even get read. They kind of liked her.
Right.
The girls are released back into the backstage, and the deliberation happens. Nothing particularly happens during the deliberation among the judges. We go to commercial, and when we come back, Pearl and Trixie, well, we find out who's going to be in the bottom two. And Donna, as I was telling Daniel, we can talk over this clip.
Right. So to set the stage here, we have Pearl, Candy Corn, I know it's Candy Ho, and Trixie Mattel all standing on stage, and we hear this.
Pearl, you are a magical queen, but your performance failed to charm the judges.
She's just like,
I'm sorry, my dear, but you're up for elimination.
Cool.
Again,
I felt really good about this challenge.
How did she feel good about this challenge?
I thought I was the winner.
You went for the comedy gold, but all we got was bronze.
Who wrote that line?
Yeah, considering that she's the one that wrote everything for that damn
performance wasn't sticky, and your runway look is not so sweet.
No, there you go. Her video was substandard, and her last looks were unstandard. So how is she not up for elimination?
You're safe.
Oh, I There was an audible gasp in the bar
Trixie,
when
my
that
dear,
happened
I'm
last
sorry,
night.
but you are up for elimination.
Okay. Can I throw this out here? And this is my hope and feel in the deepness of my soul. Do you remember 2 seasons ago when they brought the queen back? And
Yeah,
then she
the little
immediately
Puerto
got kicked
Rican,
back?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you think that maybe they are setting this up to bring a bitch back?
Well,
Because,
oh my God. You know what? I think you're right. I'll tell you why I think that. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, I really have this feeling that because she is so good and because she is so loved, that there is going to be such an uproar that they're just going to be like, we brought her back.
You know what? It's funny that you say that, because did you see next week in the preview for next week, they sort of imply that Pearl walks off.
Oh my God, please. That would be so good.
All right, now, hold on.
They've done
Hold
that
on.
other shows before. Oh, that's the
I
best.
would call it more of a lumber, really, than a walk. But
yeah, it was more like The Walking Dead. Like she meandered off, like just slowly looking for
You know
prey.
what? Knowing Pearl, she just may have gotten lost coming back from the bathroom.
I was trying
Still
to smoke a
wandering
cigarette.
the halls of the hotel, like, where's my room?
I went outside to smoke a cigarette. Who's this Deborah Harry person?
I was
Anyway.
just kind of over it. But you know what,
Smoke
Donna?
a cigarette and ended up in Ventura.
You know what, Donna? I think you are onto something. I think you're right. I think they're going to bring her back because that makes more sense. Everything makes more sense. We'll get back to it. But now we know Pearl and Trixie are in the bottom 2, and Rue goes into this.
The time has come. Reach a lip sync for your life.
I look over at
Trixie.
Pearl. I love Pearl, but I'm in it to win it. I know the song like the back of my man hands, and I think I'm going out kicking and screaming. Let's do this.
Good luck, and don't fuck it up.
Okay, so let's talk. Come on, this is making me think what Donna's saying is right, because Trixie was so much better.
Now wait. Here's the thing. Look at who is the judges. All right. Look at the judging panel. Right. You have people over there who are familiar with Debbie Harry. They've seen the video of Blondie of this song, and Pearl, unbeknownst to Pearl, was doing a dead-on Deborah Harry. I don't even think Pearl could pick Deborah Harry out of a lineup. But it's like, if you've ever seen that video to Dreaming, it's like Deborah Harry has no expression on her face. It's just very kind of trancy, kind of like that's just how Deborah Harry is. And it's just kind of like...
just to speculate, just to go behind the waterfall, if you will, how much advance notice do you think they get on what the song is that they're going to have to lip sync?
They all have those. They all have them in their ear, like practicing back there. So I know they know.
But you always see that on Untucked. But do you think they chose this song specifically because they knew that Pearl was in the bottom?
I don't think so. I think for them to be able to be prepared every week, they probably already have that planned out for the entire season. Like this week, the runway theme is Green Eleganza, and the lip sync song is going to be Dreamin'.
But I don't know. I'm gonna go a little bit with what Donna says. I feel that there is some sort of planning, because you remember, go back to season 5 with Jinx Monsoon, right? And in the final lip sync, when she did it against Roxy Andrews. And they remember all 3 of the bitches just had a lip sync on the final episode.
Yes.
So it was Roxy Andrews, Jinx Monsoon, and somebody else. And the song was that Ima Sumac song, that crazy ass song, and it was almost like it was chosen for Jinx Monsoon. Like, who would ever think to put that song?
You're talking about
as
the
a
one
lip-sync
that her and Detox, the one with her and Detox, when she was dressed up like a Christmas reindeer.
How dare you?
Oh, maybe it was that one, but it's an Ima Sumac song called Malambo something or other.
Yes, that's the one with her and Detox when they did the candy challenge. She was dressed like a Christmas reindeer.
Sorry,
and she went into it, and Detox did her unhinged anaconda jaw, and that. After doing that so many times, it just wasn't funny anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that seems like it was it was set up for Jinx to do well. I mean, that's a song that's perfect for Jinx.
Now, that season also, Whip My Hair Back and Forth, I mean, that song was really made for, and now I just went blank and forgot her name, the one who pulled off her first wig and had a second wig.
Oh, Roxy Andrews.
Oh, God. It was just made for her. That was her song.
All right. I just wanted to point this out, just a little bit of housekeeping here, because of the time that we started, and we're streaming live on Pride 48, yes. And we are wedged between a couple of shows. So we are going to have to be going off the stream in 5 minutes. However, if you want to download the podcast, if you're listening on the podcast, fear not, we will continue on and whatnot, but we will be dropping the stream in 5 minutes. For those of you in the chat room, we'll be dropping the stream in 5 minutes so that you can listen to the Ramble Redhead show, which is coming on at 9 o'clock Eastern time, but it's 8:55 now, so we have 5 more minutes. But we will continue. Fear not, you can download the podcast later tonight, and you will hear anything that you missed. So go ahead, Joe Betance, where are we at now?
Well, we're pretty much, so let's talk about, so we talked about the lip sync. You're saying that she did a good job as Dreamy, but I actually, God, Donna she really won me over with that. They're going to bring Trixie back. I really do think that.
I will say
I
this.
think that either
Justice for Trixie was was trending on Twitter. If you go and look at the hashtag Justice for Trixie, also if you go to any of the RuPaul Facebook groups, there's just comment after comment. No one was defending. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, how did Trixie go?" The only people that were saying anything contrary were Pearl fans saying Candy should have been there. It shouldn't have been Trixie. It should have been Candy and Pearl, and Candy should have gone home. It was. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, that or Kasha and Candy. That was the other option. It's like it should have been Kasha and Candy. Pearl and Trixie shouldn't have been in the bottom. But yeah, so Justice for Trixie was trending.
Yeah, I think Donna's onto something. She's thinking like a reality show producer. Because I think what happens is
a future reality show contestant.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because they come up with these stories in advance. Okay, this season we're going to eliminate 2 at the same time at some point. Rue knows she can do that. Because look, if you're making a television show, you can't eliminating 2 contestants at the same time fucks with the number of episodes. So you really can't do that kind of shit. Right. So they plan these stories out ahead of time. You know, like, well, at some point, Rue, you can eliminate 2, and then we'll save 1 and do this. And so they haven't done that before. Have they brought someone back before? In the same
season? Not that I'm aware of.
Yes, bitch, you are. I think you're onto something.
Because no one has, no one has been kicked off. See, this has happened on Project Runway before, where someone was kicked off in between episodes, like in between where it wasn't being filmed, and it's like they come back the next episode. Oh, so and so had to leave. This person came back, but the only time we've ever had someone that's been kicked off the show or has left the show like this was with
Project Runway, wasn't it?
Willem Belli.
No.
Yeah, but they didn't bring anybody back though. They didn't.
No,
they just eliminated
because it happened during the filming. Because I think it's because they chose to do it during the filming. They just kept the 2 of them there instead of kicking someone off in the next episode, having to come back and say, "Oh well, Willem left and got kicked off. Right. We had brought so and so back."
Yeah, I think in Project Runway we've had precedents for this, where somebody left and they brought back the last person that was eliminated, and she got put back into the challenge. She actually went on to be in the final 3 that season, but it was like that guy that he was a really intense designer guy that was like ripping the camera and like hitting the camera like, "Oh, you don't follow me," and like punched the camera. It was great. Anyway, different show.
I like that. I like that thinking.
And now going to another show. I realize we're getting ready to end here. It's the makeup show Face Off had the same thing where they actually brought back a previous contestant. She went on into the top 3 and almost won the entire show.
So there you go, Joe Betance. There is hope that Trixie Mattel will be back.
Or you. It doesn't matter to me. I think this is my prediction. Pearl walks off next episode, and they bring back Trixie.
There you go.
That is my prediction. Okay, so let's talk about it. So Pearl is safe. Trixie is eliminated. Daniel, what was your reaction when you saw that?
I said it at the beginning of the show. It was just, I was not the only one in the bar that was just like, oh my God. I mean, and I'll tell you this. I met some people at the bar last night. I met the lovely and talented Veronica Mann, who was at the bar last night. And at the beginning of the evening, before the show even started, I asked, it was like, "Oh, well, who are you rooting for?" And blah, blah, blah. And then she asked me back, like, "Who was I rooting for?" And I said, "I really like Trixie." And she's like, "Oh, do you not know have you not heard the rumors or whatever?" And so I was kind of uneasy all night, because I kind of, like, when she reacted that way, I thought, oh, something's happening with Trixie. And
okay, can we bring that up here? Because that, unfortunately, is something that I've heard way too many times now, where shit gets online before the show airs. Like, are we at the point that we almost need to treat this shit like Survivor and keep them secluded in a special location where no one knows who got kicked off?
I assume that they did that. They just sequestered the girl somewhere else afterwards. The girls just go home after they're done, for real?
I don't know, but it's like, the fact is, or someone at World of Wonder or someone in the filming process needs to be tracked down and fired, because for some reason it seems like certain details about episodes keep getting leaked to the internet.
There's a lot of people involved in a production, and there's a lot of, and if it's not, it's really easy to keep Survivor people under wraps because they're on a desert island somewhere out in the Pacific. It's not like they have ready access to, like, they have to get on a boat and, like, go back into the mainland.
Yeah, because on The Amazing Race, it's the same thing. They put them on a vacation somewhere.
No, actually, no. Amazing Race. There has never been an Amazing Race where we didn't know who the top 3 were ahead of time, because there's people all around the globe that are in forums and that like spot at different airports and whatnot. They'll like go to the airports and see if they see them there, and it's like in the report on what teams are there. It's just a hazard of it being here in the mainland in a Twitter world, right?
But this has never happened with Survivor, because Survivor must have thought this right away, that this was going to be an issue, because you are sent to a resort, you stay at the resort, you're not allowed to leave the property until the entire filming is done, and then all of you return home together, and you can't talk about it until the show's there.
Yep. But regardless, the spoiler that I was told that the spoiler happened because they put the episode out over like C-band satellite, and the day before, and someone had picked it up off C-band satellite, which is a common thing to send it to affiliates. Which I don't know why Logo would have affiliates, but it could be like a distribution point or something. It's like a regional for like satellite or something. Anyway, regardless.
So Logo has a satellite feed where they send the show where people are easily able to hack it?
Not easily able to hack it, but if you happen to have a big dish C-band satellite dish, which most people don't, and you have the proper transcoder there, I guess you can pick it up. Anyway, that's just I don't know any more than that. I'm just saying that's what I was told. That someone somehow saw the episode ahead of time because it was broadcast via satellite.
See, the thing with me, if I want to have the experience, like in other words, sitting with my friends yesterday and watching it and my mouth dropping when she says that Pearl is safe, I love those experiences. I don't want to have it ruined for me.
Yeah, and it was again, this is the second week that I watched it in a bar, and it was just, I cannot stress enough, if you have the option to go to a gay bar that is playing RuPaul on Monday night, do it. It is so much fun. It's just like, they turn the TV, they mute the volume during the commercials and whatnot, but it's just, you're there chatting with people who are watching the show, and it's like, these are, a way to meet new people, but it's also just like a whole shared experience there where you're just kind of like, and gasping and whatnot. It's really fun.
Donna, do you have any sort of special reaction to Pearl being safe and Trixie going home?
It's not a special reaction. I think it's just kind of like, what the fuck? And I always think, and even though I'm the one that said nothing, but I always think, like, what went into the process of thinking that somehow Pearl had something else to offer when the performance, it was so my trouble is that Trixie didn't leave that spot the entire show, and she almost gave it to Pearl in a way, because Pearl was on her stage. Where the fuck was Trixie? Trixie, you gotta move around, you gotta be in the center, you gotta steal the spotlight, you have to get people looking at you. Standing in a corner and doing your shit isn't how you perform.
Yeah, she favored the side, she didn't favor the center. But I think a lot of that was just Pearl looked like she was about to fall over on those heels. It's like, I wouldn't want to be next to her when she fell over either.
Yeah, but again, and Pearl even said she wasn't. So in Untucked, let's actually jump into Untucked. I don't really have that much to say about Untucked.
Well, hold on. We have one last clip before we get to Untucked. Don't we have to play that clip? The clip that you made me pull, the clip that I wish I never had to hear again, but you want me to play this clip?
Ladies, I've made my decision.
I didn't have that on my list.
Pearl, Shantae, you stay.
Oh no! Oh my God, Daniel! Oh my God!
Justice for Trixie.
Talk to me, Pearl.
Oh my God!
I just love her so much. I feel.
Oh my God!
All right, you may join the other girls.
Oh my God! I can't believe this.
This isn't happening. Water off a duck's back. Water off a duck's back. Water off a duck's back.
Trixie Mattel, you are an amazing queen. Keep on dreaming and keep them laughing. Now, sashay away. Thank you.
Harsh.
Can I just go ahead and just ask the question? With that level of breakdown, did Pearl full on think she was the one going home? She's I'm not funny. I'm boring.
Oh, did you watch Untucked?
I want to go home. No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Get deep. Take us into it.
On Untucked, she gets. I didn't pull it because it was so much of the episode was Pearl just, confessing.
Pearl went outside to smoke a cigarette, and other people had to go out and like comfort her, and she was.
It was a thing. So let's buzz through Untucked. So the first people we see in Untucked coming off the stage are Ginger Minge, Katya, Kennedy Davenport, Jaden Dior Fierce and Miss Fame.
Yes.
And they go and they grab their cocktails and they're going to talk about the experience of the challenge. Daniel, do you have anything to say here?
I really, all right, so I never watched Untucked in seasons before, as I've said. I really enjoy it being on YouTube, and I know that there's people online that are really pissed off that they took it off of TV. I don't understand why you would be pissed off. It's like that the video quality is better. It's there's no commercials in it. You don't have to fast forward through anything. It seems tighter. They're not bleeping things out. So it's just like, why are we upset that it's on YouTube? I think that's great. I think this is the greatest thing in the world that Untucked is on YouTube.
I think the show is so good. It's so much better than it was.
Yeah, I think Logo might have had some say in like they were being oppressive or something. I don't know, but it's like for whatever reason it's working for him now, and I like the show a lot better.
You know what I actually figured out? I was driving the other day, and I actually figured out why Logo got rid of Untucked.
Why?
Because Untucked doesn't get the ratings that RuPaul's Drag Race gets. A lot of people just tune out after Untucked, so the ratings drop.
Correct.
Right? And so that doesn't help. So Logo doesn't get the benefit on their other shows from the bump of RuPaul. So now they can put their other shows after RuPaul and benefit from that bump. So that's
come on,
probably
can we
why.
talk about this? Other networks try to do this shit all the time. When Friends was big, they always tried to put the show that they were having trouble with after Friends, before Friends.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. That spillover isn't as much as you think.
But it's something, and that's the thing, right? It's like every show that ever followed Friends didn't get canceled that first season because
and they put that new show. Remember, it's not they think that this new show is great. It's from the makers of Queer as Folk, about a white guy who dates a black guy in England or something.
What?
And
what's the new show?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Oh my God, I was so pissed on the first episode. If you DVR this show, I was fucking pissed off. So here's what they did. Here's what fucking Logo did. They wrote, so on your DVR on episode number 1, oh, that's right, you guys watch it online.
Right.
On episode number 1 on the DVR, it said, episode number 1, RuPaul's Drag Race from 9 p.m. to 11:30 p.m.
Oh.
So you're like, oh my God, this is a supersized 2.5 hour
They fucking
RuPaul's
make
Drag Race.
you watch that new shit after.
Yes. So the episode ends and they're like, RuPaul will be right back, but first a preview, and it's an hour-and-a-half movie. Oh my God, I was like, fuck you, Logo. Fuck you.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe I heard this wrong. Are you trying to tell me that they showed you part of the RuPaul episode and then showed you another show and then went back to the rest of it?
No, they just said RuPaul will be back, which just means the repeat of RuPaul will be back after this movie.
Oh,
yes.
That's fucking tricky. That's some sneaky shit.
Yeah. Everybody I was with. Yeah, go ahead.
The only new show to Logo that I actually am looking forward to is that Queen from Ugly Betty is going to be reading old movies and spilling some tea and getting kind of gay. I think that's going to be a cute premise of a movie and I'm for a show, and I'm looking forward to it.
I think that's a good idea. You're right. I don't think it's a bad idea because they're showing reruns of shit anyway.
And catty, it has to be queer. If
my
it's
question would
queer,
be
it's not going to be funny.
My question would be which Queen from Ugly Betty, the one that from the workplace, or
Michael Urie,
or her younger
the
son?
Secretary.
Whatever happened to her younger brother who was gay on the show or was very
her nephew?
Yeah, her nephew.
I don't know.
Whatever happened to that guy?
I don't know what he's doing now.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so let's get into Untouched.
There's an interconnected series of tubes that would tell us that.
Yeah, now we've completely gone down the rabbit hole here.
So anyway, it's just a bunch of little scenes.
I just want to point this out. We're not allowed to talk about the editing on the show, but now we're allowed to surmise about why Logo took Untucked and put it over here.
Okay, so Katya does a big monologue about feeling more confident. Jaden talks about Violet's attitude. This is before Violet walks in the room.
Yes.
Candy Ho gets read as the weakest one. Right? The people on her, the person whoever was on her team, I didn't write this down, expected Kasha to be the way she was. Let me see who would be on that team.
It was Ginger and Kennedy.
Oh, Ginger and Kennedy expected Kasha to be the way she was, but
girl, we knew she was just going to be like that. We knew she was just going to do that.
We knew it. Miss Fame says that Trixie shrinks and that Pearl also gets read among the group for being boring and wearing no pants. Kennedy was really upset about that. But what I thought was really interesting, but it wasn't worth pulling the clip, I felt like Kennedy was really coming out of her shell and like really having much more personality than we're used to seeing her having. I'm not confusing her with Jaden anymore.
I would agree with that. I also found it really, really, I don't know if it's just the shitty SD quality of Logo, that I didn't notice this before, but the tape on Mrs. Fame's temples was just so glaring. It was just like it just cut into her makeup. The temple tape that they use. It was just so far down, and it was eating into
a fat head.
It was eating into her makeup so much. It just so you could just see the outline of the tape. It was a different color, different sheen, and it was just like, wow, that's I didn't notice that on the main show, but it was so distracting. It was so distracting.
What my guess is for that, because I noticed that, is I think that she has her head is physically larger than a normal head. Okay, you guys know what I'm talking about. Wigs aren't necessarily made for men, right. So I honestly think that her wigs is. If you look at the placement of her wigs, I think that her head is a little larger for her wigs. They're not obviously made specifically for her, and so the wigs are pulling back a little far and getting into the tape range. She should be pulling her tape back farther.
There you go.
Oh, well, there we go.
It's a makeup tip. Now, it's a makeup tip from Donna Suggarz, future contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Have your wigs made for you.
At this point, the rest of the girls join into the Untuck Lounge, and Trixie's sort of the first one to come in, and this is very interesting to me. She's talking about how concerned she is, but then she goes on about this long monologue about how she was giving herself props in it, and actually Mrs. Kasha Davis calls her out on it.
She does.
Because she was saying they were complimenting me. Again, not worth pulling the clip. Here, I did pull this clip, though, where Jaden finally says, which I'll give Jaden props, she talked shit about Violet behind her back, but when Violet came in, she told her to her face, and she says, what, Daniel? Clip number 12.
For a second, I was a little bit nervous about our team because, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but I know some of the other girls notice it too. Sometimes you give off a little bit of like a kind of mean vibe. And then when we were in the studio with Lucian, it seems like that you were kind of like getting smart or getting an attitude. So I got a little bit nervous about that.
I mean, all I can do is be honest with my feelings.
And we move on.
Apparently
that was it.
Whatever. I'll just be honest with my feelings.
Oh my god. I'm just telling him how I feel.
Jessica Alba just said I had the perfect ass. Whatever.
Did Jessica Alba say you had the perfect ass? Because she told me I did.
I don't think she did.
And that bitch was in Honey. Okay.
So how can you take her seriously as a judge?
Smells good. I'm sorry. I should have pulled that clip. I want that as a ringtone now. It smells good. Anyway.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of pulling that. I didn't know if I should have pulled it.
The clip you should have pulled is the RuPaul, the B. Arthur comment.
Oh, I was thinking about that.
Hysterical.
Thank God, Ross. We have an email addressing the Ross Matthews issue, so I didn't want to touch on this. We'll get to it in the email. But thank God Ross Matthews is back. Well, I mean, we'll find out later.
Yes.
We'll find out later what the deal is, but yeah.
All right. We move on. Candy Ho talks about her own evaluation, but it's so boring that I forgot what she said. And then this is where Pearl starts talking about her own disappointment in herself and her disappointment with how she's being treated, and this is where the shame spiral starts. But before we go into that, Ginger takes the opportunity to read Max. Now, if you don't remember, Max was just basically wearing some pasties and a little green number, and the conversation was about how that Max didn't have enough green on, and Max was sort of defending herself. But then Ginger, in the confessional and in front of Max, has this to say, clip number 13.
I do not understand the infatuation that the judges have with Max. You glued 2 earrings to your nipples, girl, and thought that would be enough green? Pfft, please.
Now, Daniel, I know you love yourself some Ginger Minge. What did you think of that?
As I talk to more people, I realize that people like her, and I'm having to...
I love how that was both a statement and
a question.
Like,
right.
People like her?
Right. And it's kind of like people liking 2.5 Men. It's just like I question their taste level, but at the same time, I don't want my dislike of her to draw away from the conversation. So I've now started rephrasing it into like, I love Katya and I love to hate Ginger.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And it's like, I do. In other words, I have a physical reaction to Ginger. Like her voice gives me the heebie-jeebies. I recoil from her. And I'm a big enough person to admit that she really reminds me of someone in my real life that I clash with. and that there may be some transference of feelings there.
Oh
all right.
my God.
However, I would be really sad if she left the show because she does provide,
She's gonna smother me in my sleep.
No, but what I'm saying is she provides some kind of, it's saying that you need to have a villain. You need to have, if everyone is all just lovey-dovey, it becomes a very boring show. And so I do like her on the show. I don't like her.
Oh, that means you're going to really like clip number 14 then, I think it is, or the last clip, when she reads Kennedy Davenport.
Shall I play it?
Play it.
I'm super happy that Kennedy won. Like, I think she did a great job.
I agree.
But there's part of me that goes, well, hell, if I had sat back and let somebody else write everything for me, could I have won?
That's her look. You did the work.
It seems like I keep helping everybody else win challenges. I'm writing people jokes. I'm directing people with their characters. At some point, I'm just going to have to step back and say, all right, that's enough, girl. You don't need to help anybody else. You need to help yourself.
I'm going to tell you something.
I think she has the time to write other people's jokes because she had all of her jokes written for her.
Ooh,
it's really
girl.
about time management.
I thought it was
frankly, if we're going to talk about someone who did all the work and who still got kicked off the fucking show, let's talk about Trixie.
Yeah, really.
Who thought everything up and did most of the work.
I think she has all the extra time because she basically just has that same dress that must be in white, and she goes outside and dyes it the appropriate color every week because she's just been wearing the basic same dress on the runway every fucking week.
And that fucking wig, it's the same fucking wig. She'll wear it in the back of her head with a weird pony. She'll wear it in the front of her wig. She'll turn it sideways and
well, let's not
make it a
forget
swoosh.
though.
Same fucking wig.
Let's not forget that was the big complaint against last year's winner,
which is what?
Bianca Del Rio, that she'd always wear the same dress and the same wig.
Yeah, and
No. Let's clarify. They got on Bianca Del Rio for wearing the same style of dress.
Right.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
She handmade every single dress she did. Most of them during the challenge.
And her comeback
this bitch
to it was
brought
amazing.
These fucking clothes herself.
Right.
This is the shit she brought from home.
Yeah, and her Bianca's comeback to that was amazing, right? That was the I'll do that when Michelle Visage wears a turtleneck and Santino wins a sewing challenge. But let's get into this really quickly. That was the last clip that we had from Untucked. Can we get to the email?
I can wrap it up in 2 sentences.
Go ahead.
Pearl has a meltdown. She goes outside to smoke a cigarette. Everyone comforts her. We come back. They all go outside, and Pearl and Trixie lip sync, and then Trixie goes home.
Right.
And then we watch her leave.
It's so sad. And I haven't so here's the thing.
I think Donna's right. She'll be back.
And here's the thing is you have to there's different videos that get posted at certain times, right? So you watch the main show on Monday night, and then the next day, Untucked gets posted. And then the next day, like tomorrow on Wednesday, we will be treated to the fashion review with Raja and Raven. So they'll actually go through all the looks tomorrow, and they'll give it a boot or a toot. And then I believe also tomorrow is the Michelle Visage video that's posted on Logo TV, which is What You Packin'. Mm-hmm. So I think if Donna is right, we're going to figure this out tomorrow because there was no What You Packin' posted yet. I don't know that they would do a What You Packin' if she's going to come back.
No, we thought no. Disagree.
Yeah?
Because I think that they pack and go somewhere else. I really do think that the World of Wonder people aren't that stupid. They're just taking them out of the main because they can't have her there mingling with the other queens, right? So they're just moving into another hotel.
No, that could absolutely be. And I mean, you pointed out, right? You pointed out that this is filmed over a 2-week period, like 14 days, and that was kind of borne out today by Trixie basically saying, I've been here for 4 days and I'm going home after losing a comedy challenge. It's like, so that kind of like, okay, that makes sense. Episode 4, it's been 4 days. It's like, yeah, so I guess it is literally an episode.
They do about an episode every couple of days. Yeah.
What I will say is I will almost bet money on it that they are not staying anywhere near each other in the hotel. I will guarantee that they're on different floors, different sides of the hotel, different wings. I guarantee they separate them on purpose because of some of the tea that we have learned from previous years. The fact that the year with the little Latin queen, the little tiny midget one on the Willems season. She talked about when she did an interview with Johnny McGovern that they used to sneak out of the hotel and go to the mall across the street. They used to hang out with each other when they were at the hotel all the time, sneak out, go to the mall, just dick around. And so like I guarantee that there is some seclusion happening on purpose because of
There was a video. I think I talked about this last week. There is a video showing them getting secluded beginning, like before the opening show, where they're all put into they go through all their bags. They make sure they don't have any kind of phones. They don't have any kind of electronic equipment. They lock them into the hotel room. They're like, if you need anything, you knock on the door because we're outside.
Yeah, but that's just for the first episode.
Yeah, I know what I'm just saying. But there, so there is some team there that is doing some kind of thing. But we can speculate on all of that stuff. But let's get to our email, shall we? Have 2 different emails that came into us. If you would like to send us an email, it is rdrr@pride48.com, and we will be happy to address it here on the show. This one comes to us from our Canadian friend to the north, which I guess that's redundant. Comes in from Turnip Head, who says, "So I'm hoping someone brings up that Max needs to bring out something else than a gray wig. What the fuck? When's the last time Rue wasn't in a blonde wig or Michelle wasn't in a ponytail?"
Hallelujah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. P.S. I like the minge. I laugh when people don't know what a minge is, but what did you think of her back knee? All right, so let's take these.
Isn't minge like code word for vagina?
It's
a British slang.
It's a British slang for vagina.
It's like is it the vagina or is it the vagina hair?
It's just that general area. I don't know. We're not experts on that.
I know a merkin is a wig for your private.
Oh no, I think minge is the vagina.
Yeah, it's like fanny, minge. I think they're all interchangeable. Here's the thing: is so Max in the gray wig. I happen to agree with that. Max, when he did Courtney Act, was wearing a blonde wig. So even in this episode, Max was not wearing a gray wig at some point. So what the fuck is her deal? Why are you? I would challenge you not to have a gray wig. It's like, that's her look, right? That's her runway look. That's her character, Max, doing whatever the runway challenge is for that week. It has nothing to do with their maxi challenge of the week or their mini challenge of the week where she's playing characters. This is Max, the drag queen Max coming out. Is like, why can't she wear a gray wig? That's silly. That's like saying you have to dye your hair every time you come on the runway.
And what did Michelle want? Did Michelle want her to dip her fucking wig in Kool-Aid like half the other queen bitches did with their nasty ass wigs? Can we talk about, hold on. I just want to say this about one wig. I realize we're going back to it. Jaden's wig. Where the fuck do you get that hideous color of green? Like, where did that wig come from? Like, how do you even make that color of green?
I think it was
disturbing.
It was she must have dyed it, and then I think the runoff from it actually got into Candy Ho's wig because it was just like on the tips of her wig, that hideous green color.
I think someone saw that video that Willem did about taking your wig and dipping it in Kool-Aid, and they just had the green Kool-Aid, and they're just like, oh, I have to have green tips.
All right, now we need to address this because I should play the sound. I should play the song, the Schindler's List theme or something. This is my sad sob story. I suffer from back knee. I have my entire life. I've had acute acne on my back. I was an Accutane baby where I was on experimental drugs. So I have the utmost empathy for people that have back knee because, to this day, even though I'm older now and I don't have the acne anymore, I still have the scars from that. And so I'm very self-conscious about taking my shirt off, very self-conscious about people seeing that. And it's like, so Ginger Minge, her back knee on this show, I sit down now, make sure you're sitting down. My heart went out for her. I really felt bad for her because I know what it's like to just be, teased about that and by siblings and whatnot. But it was just, it's nothing you can do about back knee. I'm sorry. It's just a thing. And it's like, whatever. It's fine.
Can I go ahead and just ask the question? Because I must have missed this. Did someone bring up her back knee on the show or on Untucked or something?
No. It was just very clearly visible in the shot.
Sahara Davenport.
Yeah, during the Sahara Davenport scene, you could see her man boobs and her back knee. So it's like in two different shots, obviously.
I mean, it's one thing if we're talking about like she got those like, does she got fat rolls in the back?
Yeah. Oh yeah. She has it all.
We knew like that's. I mean, who cares? Everyone acts like I know some princesses that got bad acne. Like it happens.
Right. Anyway, I felt bad for her just because.
Daniel, can you just play the beginning of that?
Schindler's List.
No, that Masters video.
Yes, I will.
Just the beginning.
Go ahead, play.
Jasmine Masters.
I am Jasmine Masters, and I have something to say. No time for sugar.
What? Oh, do you want me to keep going?
Cody, I'm getting right to the point.
This is what I have to say right here.
What I don't appreciate, the fact that everything that I may have said or say could get so twisted around by someone who could do whatever they want to do all of this to make shit seem worse than what it really was. When it wasn't that...
that's right.
Really a word.
I just see this as being one of those, I gotta find me a techno song or something. I see this as being one of those, techno beat songs where you just intersperse all these things. What it was, no, it's slap you in the face, punch you in the mouth. It's just like, there's a song here.
The look goes as follows. Like someone from the club circuit needs to work on this. Yes. Get on top of it. Adam Joseph needs to get on top of it.
And she's got, that video is epic. That video, that's what, a minute and whatever I pulled of that, a minute and 42.
Please post that video, because
I will put the link in our show notes. But yes, it's 15 minutes of her. And at one point, she literally, I took out a lot of the pauses in it, but it's like, at one point, she literally stops and turns around and stares up at the ceiling for like 10 seconds. And then turns back around and doesn't address why she just stared at the ceiling for 10 seconds. It was crazy. We got another email here. It came in again from Turniphead, who writes, subject, Ross Matthews. He is busy with other contractual stuff, but he and Carson share the judging chair. It's 50-50. Ross talks about this on his podcast, Straight Talk with Ross Matthews. So,
there you go.
He has a podcast too. Oh, great.
Wait, hold on. Donna, his podcast is up against your show, Cocktails and Cream Puffs.
What?
Oh, for the podcast awards.
That's right.
Oh, well, there goes us ever winning that damn contest, because God knows everyone loves that homosexual.
Even B. Arthur.
Yeah. Which I wish you had pulled that clip, because that clip is hysterical.
I thought about it.
Excellent.
Get on top of it. Make it a ringtone and send it to me.
Thank you for your email, Turniphead. And remember, if you would like to email us, you may do so. RDRR. Excuse me, I just burped. RDRR at pride48.com. You can go to our website, pride48.com/RDRR, where you will find links to our Twitter accounts and to our Facebook identities and to other fun stuff and to our other podcasts that we do. So make sure that you go over there and check it out. And you can also leave a comment right on the webpage, and we will make sure that we get to them on the show.
Okay, well, thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Donna. And thank you for joining us for another recap of RuPaul's Drag Race. Join us next week live on Tuesday on pride48.com at 8 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Pacific. Or download the show wherever you get your podcasts. So until next week, for Daniel Brewer, Donna Suggarz, and myself,
sashay away. Until next week.